Yo, we got car parts in! It's a good day! We got car parts, which means we can do a lot of fun stuff today. So what's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. We'll go over what I have in front of me here in a second. I do have other car part updates as well. Our other two injectors are at the mod garage, so we're going to be picking those up this afternoon. Our header gets dropped off tomorrow. Our air oil separator gets dropped off today at the mod garage, so we need to go pick that up also. What else? I canceled the clutch order with Riley Sport Direct because they were saying I wasn't going to get that clutch till like the end of February or like early February-ish. I don't know, sometime in February. It's all right because I have something worked out. But anyways, let's kind of go over what I have in front of me here and then let's install some parts. We have a lot to do today. We have a good amount of stuff to do today. So a lot of what you guys are going to see is going to look pretty familiar to what we did on the 17 STI. So I have our fuel line in here. We're not going to be doing any of this until we get the motor back in the car, just so I can measure like all fuel line length. I also need to order a couple more fittings because this fuel line kit is for the stock fuel pressure regulator and we're going to be using an Aeromotive A1000. So I just need to order a couple more fittings to make that work, but we get the fuel pressure regulator on Friday. Over here, this is what we're doing right now. So we have IAG's V3 TGV Deletes. So these are pretty fancy looking. The only difference between these and normal TGVs are these are hollowed out. As you can see, there's obviously no TGVs or butterfly valves in there. It comes with gaskets, comes with the hardware. So TGVs are here. We have our fuel rails. So these are just IAG's top feed fuel rails with all the hardware. I also got some phenolic spacers just because we are going to be running an FP Black. We're going to be having a bigger turbo. So I got the 8mm phenolic spacers just to give us a little bit more clearance. Plus this will help with heat transfer going from the motor up to the intake manifold since we have this stuff. I forgot what this is made out of. It's like plenum or something. I don't remember what this is made out of, but we're gonna get those on there. And then these are the two injectors that I have here. These are both ID 1300s. The other ones that we're picking up later this afternoon are also ID 1300s. So let me run through. I'm just gonna time lapse getting one side installed. After I get the other side one side installed, I'll walk you guys through how to do the other side. The side I'm gonna do first, I'm not gonna put the injectors in. We'll do the injectors on the driver's side, the side that'll walk you guys through. But let me get one of these in, then we'll do the other side. So I've got the passenger side thrown on here. I found an issue with these already. IAG, if you buy this conversion kit, or if you just buy fuel rails now, you only get the smaller phenolic spacers that go in between the fuel rail and the TGV housing. We need the large spacers. The small ones will not work for our application. I don't know why they don't just send you both of them, but they only give you the small ones. So it's no bueno, not cool. Small. We need large to work with those. So I guess we're not throwing injectors in. I just called IAG to talk to their customer support, see if I can even get some of these large phenolic spacers to be able to accommodate our fuel injectors. So hopefully that gets taken care of. Someone did warn me about this, that this might be an issue. I don't know why they only give you the small. Just give us the large also. But everything else bolts up just fine. Everything else mates up awesome. Fitment is solid as expected. So let me walk you guys through the driver's side over here. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I also called IAG and I'm like waiting to get a call back. So if I like disappear for a minute, I'm just talking to IAG. First up, pull off this tape, make sure our mating surface is clean. I'll probably hit it with some Scotch-Brite anyways. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Let's hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Where's my little yellow rag that I had? Where'd my rag go? Rag. Boom, Scotch-Brite it up. Get this mating surface nice and clean. Make sure you don't drop anything down into the valves either. There's not a whole lot of like contaminant that can like fall down there right now, so I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, so we're gonna do gasket first. So we have gasket, phenolic spacer, then we do gasket. Boom, now we do TGV. I'm gonna grab two of the bolts just to get it like hand tight to locate them. Boom, TGV. Other two do the same thing. Why would they only send the small spacer? I don't understand. It works with like FIC and like OEM injectors only. The OEM injectors on this car are side feed. Why would you give me small spacers? So if you guys do what I do and use an Allen key for these and you need to get more torque on it, just throw a little socket on there and you can get some more torque. Bam! TGV is on there. I'm gonna get these top masked up so that way nothing falls down into the TGVs and into the valves, just because we don't want that. That's the last thing we want. We don't want anything going in there. We just cleaned all that. So we have our fuel rail. We have stuff everywhere right now. So our fuel rail comes disassembled. So what we need to do is get these 3 plug guys in. This is just a plug on the bottom for a fuel dampener. So I'm just gonna get that one started and then just start getting it in there. I'll tighten that down more in a minute in the vise. With these AN fittings, you're gonna wanna put a little bit of oil on the backside on that O-ring, just so you don't tear the O-ring or anything like that, because you don't wanna do that. You don't wanna do that. You're gonna have some fuel leaks. It's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna smell nice. You're gonna make a mess. Just throw just a little dab of oil on there. You don't need a ton. And then you can go ahead and thread this guy in. It's easier to do this off the motor too. I did it on the motor on the other side. Just easier to do it off the motor. That way you're not struggling and fighting with like clearance. Super awesome wrench too if you guys don't have an AN wrench. I think I paid like 15 bucks for this one on Amazon. It's adjustable, it does a ton of sizes. Now we can just get this guy like that, nice and tight. Bam! All right, I'm gonna go throw this in the vise and tighten that bottom piece down real quick. Once I come back, this fuel rail is pretty much assembled. So pretty unfortunate that we only got the small phenolic spacers. We can't actually get those 2 injectors in or get this fuel rail on. While I'm at the mod garage today, I will see if they have any of these laying around. They might. Ryan up there might, the mechanic up there, hopefully he does. Our fuel rail over here is assembled. We have our plug on the bottom. If you wanted to, you could put a fuel dampener on the bottom of that. It's never a bad idea. I think Radium sells them. I'm not going to, just because it doesn't like meet our budget criteria, but that guy is assembled. Over here we have our driver's side TGV Delete on. They look good. I do like the IAG V3 ones. It does suck that that small spacer just isn't going to work for us, so I am going to have to pull this fuel rail back off here soon. But fitment it's pretty close to the AVCS solenoid up here, but everything still fits up nicely. So hopefully, like I said, the mod garage might have some of those bigger phenolic spacers in. If they do, we can get all 4 injectors in today and get that knocked out with 2. I do want to mock up the intake manifold. I do want to see how much higher it'll sit with those. So let me throw that on real quick. We'll take a peek, take a gander, and then we'll continue with our checklist of other things that we're doing today. Fitment looks solid with our intake manifold on here. Next project is going to be to like super clean this intake manifold. So I'm just going to like set it down here, time lapse, like going over like super cleaning this thing. Now that it's off the car and everything's off of the intake manifold, I want to get a lot of the schmoo off of this thing and try to make it look as vibrant and red again, because look at all like that grease on there and that grossness. So let me time lapse going through here, cleaning this up. We're missing paint on that. Let me clean it up. Let's see how it looks after I clean it up. If it still looks like crap, maybe we will paint it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's clean this thing. So the intake manifold actually cleaned up pretty nice. Also, apologies, the rain is like super loud and it sounds like bacon, I know. Intake manifold actually cleaned up a lot nicer than I thought it was going to for being 15 years old and covered in grease. It's not perfect. There's like a little bit of missing paint right there and in a couple other spots, but totally fine with it. I dig the red on the STIs. I don't mind it at all. I also went through, got all the mating surfaces cleaned up, like the throttle body, the runners where they meet up to the TGVs. I don't have the gasket, so we don't even want to put the manifold on yet anyways, just because we're gonna have to fit a turbo inlet down through there and a whole bunch of other good stuff. But looks awesome for now. So while I wait for IAG to give me a call back about the spacers for our fuel rails, I'm gonna take a lunch break. I'll come back out in like an hour, and then we're gonna go through and start super cleaning all of the wheels and hopefully getting those ceramic coated if I still have some ceramic coat left. I just want to get it knocked out and done with while we have the brake rotors and everything else off. I might go to the extent of doing the calipers as well, just to keep all of that stuff like nice and clean, but we'll find out. I'm gonna go eat like a Philly cheesesteak, come back, and we'll keep going. We'll keep going on this stuff. Keep doing things. Focus, focus, there we go. All right, so I had my Philly cheesesteak. I'm full, I'm good to go again. I'm good to work out in the cold some more. So I'm gonna hold off on doing the wheels. I want to get the radiator cleaned also, because this thing's like 8 years old and it's seen some better days. Let me tell you guys that right now. I'm also still waiting for IAG to call back, so hopefully I get a call from them here shortly. But this thing has seen some better days. As you guys can see, this thing is nasty. It is gross. I think this radiator is like 8 years old. It still works just fine. A couple of the fins on it are damaged. They're just bent. I'm not really going to worry about straightening them out right now. It doesn't leak any fluid, so we're going to reuse it for budget purposes. So I'm gonna get this thing like super cleaned up. A lot of you guys were asking me what I'm using to clean everything. I just use like super clean. That stuff is awesome. I used it on the intake manifold, the brake calipers, the EG33 manifold. A lot of stuff just gets super clean, and it does an awesome job. So let's just time lapse cleaning through this, because I don't think anyone wants to sit here and watch me scrub this thing for like 30 minutes. So let's just get this done real quick. All right, so the radiator's cleaned up. It's not perfect, but it does look a lot better than it did. It's not covered in oil, grease, grime, all sorts of schmoo. It's leaking water absolutely everywhere right now. Where's all this water coming from? Stop. Just stop. Oh my God. Why? Why? Where is it all coming from? Let's not and say we did. How about that? Can we stop? Can we stop with the peeing of water absolutely everywhere? You know, it's fine. It'll evaporate. Not going to worry about it. So now that the radiator's done, I'm just going to go through, clean up these wheels a little bit, get all the old wheel weight, gunk off the back side of them, just give them a good clean, throw them back under the car, and call it a day for the wheels. After we get the wheels done, we'll swing up to the mod garage. We'll get like some more parts picked up for this guy just so we can keep going on this. Like I said, hopefully Brian has those things in stock. Hopefully he has a clutch up there also. If he does, that would make life a lot easier. If not, we'll get one ordered from someone who has one in stock so we can get this motor put back in there. So all the wheels are cleaned up now. I'm just gonna let them air dry under the car for a little bit. I have a couple emails that I need to respond to, and it's like friggin' cold out here too. Like my hands are super red, no bueno. But wheels are cleaned up, intake manifolds cleaned up, put back on. We have our TGV Deletes mocked up. I did just get off the phone with IAG regarding these phenolic spacers. Super awesome, called them, sent them an email. They're gonna get 4 of these large ones sent out for us just so that way we can fit our injectors into our rails to get them back onto the motor. So that is good. Hopefully those are like a 2-day ship because they're incredibly small. So hopefully they're just USPS'd over. Now that we have the majority of this stuff knocked out that I wanted to get done today, we're gonna be on standby up until we go up to the mod garage. We'll bring the camera. We'll go do some like fun stuff up there. So once we get up to like the mod garage, we'll be grabbing our IAG V3 AOS. We'll be grabbing our other 2 ID 1300s, and then we may snag some stuff for Melanie's car also because she was talking about wanting a new set of fog lights for her car. So we might do a little impromptu shopping also. FedEx, again, where's my parts? Every day, FedEx. But anyways, stand by for like the next like hour and a half or so. I'm gonna go knock out some emails, come back, and then we'll go up to the mod garage, pick up some goodies. So it's now later in the evening, obviously. We ran up to the mod garage and we grabbed the other 2 injectors. And I was able to get 4 of the large phenolic spacers for the injectors also. So we can get the injectors put in the fuel rails bolted up to the TGVs, get those on the car. I was also able to snag a 3-inch parent turbo inlet for the FP Black since the 2.4-inch is not going to fit. So that'll be posted for sale here shortly. I do have one person who's interested in it already. If he doesn't end up snagging it, I'll post it for sale. But I want to get these injectors in the car, get the fuel rails on the car, get this just kind of out of the way so that, get out of here, mosquito. So that way we don't have parts just laying around everywhere. So we have our 4 ID 1300s. We now have our large spacers and we have our fuel rails ready to go. So to get these in, you're gonna wanna lube up that top brown O-ring right there. And then there's a tiny little bottom one right there. Make sure you lube those up before like pushing them in, or else the O-ring's gonna tear and then you're gonna have like a lot of fuel leaks, a big fuel leak at that, or a very tiny one depending on how much you actually tear it. They're pretty fragile O-rings, so just be careful of those. Tomorrow we get our turbo for the car and we also get the header, so we can get that all mocked up. We can get the header on the car with the up pipe and mock up the turbo with the turbo inlet fitment just to get all of that kind of said and done. Just so that's out of the way, we'll probably just bolt it up and leave it on the motor. So I'm gonna run through here. I'm just gonna get the injectors put on here real quick. I'm just gonna time lapse doing both sides once the injectors are in. I think that's where we're gonna end it for tonight. We'll see what happens. So we have injectors now. So we have our injectors actually on the TGVs and our fuel rails bolted down at this point. Very good progress. I mean, it's not a ton done today. Normally TGVs, fuel rails, injectors, and phenolic spacers typically don't tend to take that long. But because we had to wait for the injectors to get dropped off and we had to go pick them up today, it just took a little bit longer. So we got a decent amount of progress done on this. I got the clutch situation figured out also, so we should have a clutch hopefully by the end of the week. We did get an ACT like we were planning, so we have the ACT Streetlite flywheel, ACT heavy duty sprung stage 2 clutch, which is good for like 515 foot-pounds of torque, which we're not gonna be anywhere near, but I don't wanna have to have any clutch slipping issues with this car. I did try to test fit the turbo inlet in here, and that's just not gonna be a fun time to try to fit a 3-inch turbo inlet through that. We'll get it figured out though, I'm not too stressed. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. Tomorrow should be an exciting day, or the next video that you guys are gonna see. We're picking up the FP Black. We're getting our header tomorrow, so that way we can start getting a lot of this stuff mocked up on the car. If big if on this one, if most of it shows up tomorrow, we'll probably permanently mount the header. We'll probably permanently mount the up pipe and the turbo on that thing, just so we're not having to like fanoodle with it once it's actually back in the car. It'll just make life a lot easier. And then when that clutch and flywheel comes in, we can go ahead, drop the motor back in the car and continue on with what we're doing. The fuel pressure regulator shows up on Friday. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but anyways, if you guys like the video, if you guys like the progress, go ahead, hit that like button, turn it blue, green, purple, black, orange, yellow, white, red, green, teal, aqua, chartreuse, amber, I don't know, whatever color it turns. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up, because hopefully this car will be running. You can't even see it. Jesus, it's so like dark. Oh, there it is. Hopefully this car will be running here the next couple weeks. We can get our base tune on there, get the car started, go get it pro tuned, make some sauce, and then actually go drive this thing around, because I've only driven this car 3 times. So with that, I don't know how I'm ending this. I feel like I'm all over the place right now. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.